So yesterday we began at Daf Chav Tes Amud Beis, the new parak. We began the new parak at the Takana Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai. We said this man Abayis they would blow in the Beis Hamikdash, but not in the Medina. When the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai made a gezer that they would blow in any place that the Bezdin would come, any place that Bezdin would come, and the reason they didn't blow, right? That's on Shabbos. That's on Shabbos. That's on Shabbos. And the Gemara suggested it was a pasuk. The Gemara rejected that and said that it was only a din d'Rabbanan, that Shema Yavrim Abraham is to learn from an expert how to blow the shofar. In the place of a bezdin where they'll be master you, they'll warn you. Then there wasn't a place. Rabbi Yochanan, they said that not only Yavne but any bezdin, and one man the Amos said, Rabbi Lezer said only in Yavne, and they said no, any bezdin. Okay, so we're up to the two lines from the bottom. Amr Rabbi Lezer, like Hiskan Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai ela b'Yavne levad. Amr lo yechad Yavne v'yechad kol makom sheish bezdin, which seems to be the opinion of the Tanakama. There were three opinions. One opinion that, right, the first opinion seemed to be any place that there's a bezdin, the Yavne, any place the bezdin. Rabbi Lezer only Yavne, and now they said, the Chachamim said to Rabbi Eliezer, any place that has a bezdin aside from like Yavne. So the Amruloi, the third opinion, seems to be the same as the first opinion. And for the Gemara, it could be nayu beidina dakroi, a bezdin that is not kavua, right? Rashi says, according to the Tanakama, you would blow, and according to the Amruloi, it has to be anything that's similar to Yavne. So just like Yavne was a kavua, a place, it was set in one place. So to the bezdin has to be a bezdin kavua. But if it's a bezdin akroi, it's a bezdin that just happened to be there in that time, you would not blow according to the Tanakama. You would blow according to the Tanakama, you would not blow according to the Amruloi, the third opinion. Amruloi echad Yavne kamakom sheish bezdin. Amr Rav Huna Amin Aleph, the im bezdin. It says the im bezdin. That's when you blow. When there's in with bezdin. What do you mean in bezdin? You have to be in bezdin when you blow. Now in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, they take a blue in the Sanhedrin Gedolah. So it's in bezdin b'fnei bezdin. It means you have to be in front of bezdin. La fukesh le b'fnei bezdin. Deloy mashma not in front of bezdin. So in bezdin means when it says that you can blow in a place outside bezdin, it means it has to be a place outside the Beis Hamikdash. Any place that has a bezdin, it has to be b'fnei bezdin, in front of the bezdin. Massive Rabbi is going to ask on that. The Mishnah said, in addition, Yerushalayim had an advantage over Yavne. Why did we say that anyone that sees Yerushalayim, anyone that can get to Yerushalayim, would be able to blow? Okay, that's what it said. My va'oid zois. Why does the va'oid zois? Ilema kidiktani, right? If you're going to say like we learned literally, zois mi boile. Because fellas, v'oid means in addition to. There was no first to have a second. This was the only chiddush that you said that Yerushalayim had over Yavne. That Yerushalayim you blow when you see it and Yavne not. But we didn't say one thing before to say in addition to. If this is the thing, od, you should just say od, not ve'od. El Yerushalayim toikin yichidim. By Yerushalayim they would blow alone. Ubi Yavne ain't toikin yichidim. Okay, and b'yavne they won't. Okay, and again, we're going to speak out of Bryce, and then we're going to get to the kasha. So it apparently right now there's two things that Yerushalayim you blow alone, Yechidim would blow, and Yavne Yechidim would not blow. And in addition, if you saw Yerushalayim, you could blow. Ubiyavne and Toikin Yechidim, how can you say in Yavne that individuals could not blow? But Kiyasa Rabbi Yitzchak by Yosef, when Rabbi Yitzchak by Yosef came, Omar, he said, Ki Mesayim Shlicha de Tzibura Tekiya b'Yavne. When the Shliach Tzibur finishes the Tekiya in Yavne, like Shama Inish Kol Unya, a person cannot go ahead and hear anything. Mikol Tekiya di Yechidoi, because of the many Tekiyas of the Yechidim, and this is speaking in Yavne. So you see, the Yechidim did blow. So you can't tell me the difference between Yerushalayim and Yavne. In Yerushalayim, the Yechidim blew, and Yavne they did not blow. Elo Lav, it must be the Yerushalayim Toikin Bein Bizman Bezdin, Bein Shaloi Bizman Bezdin. In Yerushalayim, they would go ahead and blow in the time that Bezdin would meet, the first 6 hours of the day. And in Yavne, and even Shloi Bisman Bezdin. Ubi Yavne Bisman Bezdin, and Yavne, they would only blow in the first 6 hours of the day in Shloi Bisman Bezdin Loi. Habizman bezdin mia toikin afilu shloi b'fnei bezdin. But if it's in the time of bezdin meeting, like the first 6 hours of the day, even if they're not in front of bezdin, they would go ahead and blow. So Rav Huna said in bezdin means in front of bezdin. We have a brisa that Rav Huna can't argue with that's saying bisman bezdin, but when it means bisman bezdin, it means not in front of bezdin. So therefore, we have a kasha Rav Huna who said it has to be b'fnei bezdin. Says Merloi. Don't read it that way. Yerushalayim toikin bein b'fnei bezdin bein shlei b'fnei bezdin. Yerushalayim you blow in front of bezdin, not in front of bezdin. Ubiyavne b'fnei bezdin in shlei b'fnei bezdin loi. So therefore, that's what Rav Huna said. In bezdin means b'fnei bezdin. So now we have one mila of Yerushalayim is that you blow b'fnei bezdin shlei b'fnei bezdin. In Yavna only b'fnei bezdin, and an additional mila of Yerushalayim is that anyone that saw it would blow. Iked demasi lahad Rav Huna. Aha, d'chsiv, b'yom Kippurim, taviru shoifer b'chal aretzchem. This is speaking by Yovel. Melamed, that shekol yachid v'yachid chayiv l'tkaya. Each yachid is chayiv to blow. Rav Huna v'im bezdin. My v'im bezdin doesn't mean in front of bezdin, it means bisman bezdin. The yachid should blow in the time the bezdin meets. La'afuke shloi bisman bezdin. So again, in the first lashon it was b'fnei bezdin, and the second lashon in bezdin means in the zman of bezdin. In other words, in bezdin can mean two possibilities. In bezdin with bezdin in front of bezdin, or in bezdin in the same time in conjunction with bezdin. In the first lashon it meant in front of bezdin. In the second lashon it means in conjunction with bezdin at the same time of bezdin. Okay, so therefore you would blow the yovel. You blow the same time as bezdin. Masav Rava tekiyas Rosh Hashanah the yovel doiches Shabbos bigvulin ish ubeisai. Now my ish ubeisai. What do you mean? The kiyas of Shabbos and Yovel, the doiches Shabbos b'gefulim. What does that mean? Ilema ish v'ishta isha means a man and his wife. It's a samim mechayva. It's a woman mechuyev in mad in tkiya. For mitzvahs esei shazman gramihi. That we know that shayfa is a mitzvah that's contingent upon time. The whole mitzvahs esei shazman grama nashim p'turais. Daf lamed dalid in Masechta Kedushin that we should get to Be'ez Hashem. So therefore, what? Elolav ishu beisai, vafilu shaloi bisman bezdin. It means ishu beisai, even shaloi bisman bezdin. So l'chari ishu guys, don't say ish and his house, an ish in his house. So here's your kasha. You told me that what? That you have to go ahead and blow in this man of bezdin. Can't you blow in your house shaloi bisman bezdin? How ishu beisai? Right? Well, it must be what? Elolav ishu beisav afilu shlei bisman bezdin. In the Chayr, it's a very obvious answer. Lo'ilam bisman bezdin. The Chayr is speaking bisman bezdin. I didn't see such a stark akasha with such an obvious teretz. Okay, so two in Yonim so far, right? We have either in bezdin means with bezdin the same time, or it means in front of bezdin. Masav Rav Sheshes. Shabu Yovel Rosh Hashanah l'tkiyah l'brachas. Yovel is equal to Rosh Hashanah, the Indian Tkiya, and the brachas. We say Malchiyah Zech, it's a Chrenis V'Shayfis in Yovel as well. Okay, Ella Shebi Yovel Toikin Ba Bein Bezdin Shekitchu Bayis HaChodesh. Yovel they would blow whether in the Bezdin Hagadol or Mekadesh the Chodesh, or Bein Bezdin Shalei Kitchu Bayis HaChodesh. And there were two in the Beis Hamikdash. There was the Sanhedrin Gedolah, and there was a Bezdin of 23 that sat earlier that would go ahead and they would go ahead and judge capital punishment. So that was the earlier bezdin. So that was the bezdin. The Mekadesh the Chodesh by the again the head of the Rosh bezdin has to say it by Davashol Moshe, right? Moshe has to be Moshe. The Chol Yachid b'Yachid Chayiv with Kaya, and each individual is chayiv to go ahead and with Kaya, each individual is chayiv to go ahead and blow. Rosh Hashanah, but Hoya Toikin El bezdin Shekitchu Bes HaChodesh, and that's in Yovel. But Rosh Hashanah, guess what? Only the bezdin Mekadesh the Chodesh. The Ein Kol Yachid v'Yachid Chayiv with Kaya, but what? Any individual would not be chayiv to blow. My Ein Kol Yachid v'Yachid Chayiv with Kaya. What does it mean? Any individual didn't blow in Yovel. Elam would be Yovel Toikin Yechidim Rosh Hashanah Ein Toikin Yechidim. V'Kiyasav Yitzchak v'Yosef Amar Kavi Messiah Shlicha the Tzibur to Kanta b'Yavne L'Shama Inish Kol Yomi Kol Tekiyas the Yechidoi. So you see, even on Rosh Hashanah, I said before Yovel, I meant even Rosh Hashanah you would need Yechidim to blow. So what does it mean Kol Yachid v'Yachid? Elolav. They would blow whether in the time bezdin met or not. Rosh Hashanah bisman Bezdin in, Shleib Bisman Bezdin loy. Ketani mias. Let's get to the bottom line. Ketani mias. Be Yovel, Bein Bisman Bezdin. Yovel, whether it's the time Bezdin met, again, the first 6 hours of the day. Bein Shleib Bisman Bezdin. So you see that what? That you see that what be Yovel, even Shleib Bisman Bezdin. Lo'ilam Bisman Bezdin, only Bisman Bezdin. V'achi Ketani. Be Yovel Bisman Bezdin. Toikin, Bein Bifnei Bezdin, Bein Shleib Bifnei Bezdin. And Yovel, they would only blow Bisman Bezdin, but they would blow Sai in front of Bezdin, Sai not in front of Bezdin. But Rosh Hashanah, Toikim Bisman Bezdin, Ubifnei Bezdin. You needed both Reisa, you needed both Milas. You needed in front of Bezdin, and you needed what? In the same time of Bezdin. Itmanam Yom B'chir Bargam Dom Rabbi Yossi ben Shol Omer Rabbi Ain't Toikin Ella Kol Zman She Bezdin Yoshvin. You can't blow unless Bezdin is Yoshvin. Okay, Bisman is obviously. I guess we try to blow in the first 6 hours of the day. Boy Reb Zera. No, right? Now Bezdin, you see, you have to blow when Bezdin is in judging, right? Let's say Bezdin is beginning to get up. They finished their court case and they're beginning to get up. But they didn't stand up yet. Mahu. Bezdin Yoshvin Be'inin Voyek. You need Bezdin sitting, and that you do have. Like Dilma Zman Bezdin Be'inin in the time, I guess when they're judging for Leka, of course the time is run out. They finish judging, and then what it says on that Shaila Teku. Okay. So again, we said that it comes out that there's 2 miles of Yerushalayim over Yavne, either B'fnei Bezdin or Bisman Bezdin, and L'choira, with anyone that saw Yerushalayim will be able to blow. So when it says that, what is that? Right, it says the Mishnah said, guys, the lashon of the Mishnah was any place that saw it, heard it, shamas v'kroive v'yochalavai. So what is this? What did we darshan? Roya pratli yosheves v'nachal. You're sitting in a valley and you can't see Yerushalayim, even if you're close proximity, you won't be able to blow. Shemas pratli yosheves b'resh har. If you're on top of a mountain, you can't be heard, you won't be able to blow. Kroiva pratli yosheves l'chutz l'tchum, close by, excluding if you're chutz l'tchum, v'yachol l'lavoi, prat l'mafsik, and when it says and you're able to come, prat l'mafsik lo nahara, if you're physically not able to get there, then you won't be able to blow, even if you could see Yerushalayim. In other words, you need all 3. You need ability to, has to be inside the tchum. You have to be able to hear, and you have that shemash you could hear, and you could go ahead and see directly. Okay, the next 2 mishnayos we had in Beitza. One we had in Sukkah, one we had in Beitza, and these are the kanas of Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai. Rishayna hayalulav nitel b'migdash shiva. Initially, the lulav was taken in the Beis Hamikdash all 7 days. Medina yom echad. Only B'Yom Rishon. You'd only go ahead and take on B'Yom Rishon. Meshachar Beis Hamikdash, when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Hiskin Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai made the following takana: Sheyehi lulav nitel b'Medina shiva zeichel Hamikdash. That the lulav should be taken in the Medina 7 days as a zeichel Hamikdash. Usheyom anav kuliyas. Okay, so he made the time of the bias. If we were alive, we living wherever we lived, you'd only do it once. Now we do it all 7 days because that's the kind of Yochanan and Zakkai. Now we know that on Tesai and Nisan, they would go ahead, they would bring the carbon omer, and that would matter the chadash, the winter wheat. Okay, that would matter the winter wheat. Shaloi bisman abayis, right? It's the 16th day that makes it mutter. The day comes, it's mutter. Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai was worried. If you're going to go ahead and eat the omer based upon the day, the next year, if the Beis Hamikdash is rebuilt, you're not going to wait for the current to be bought. You're going to say, last year we ate, this year you'll eat also. So therefore, Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai made a takana that the whole 16th day you can't eat. Why can't you eat the whole 16th day? Because of the concern that the Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt, and you'll eat the omer early based upon last year's event. Last year I ate what based upon the day. As soon as the 16th, I ate. The next year you're going to say the 16th I ate, but you're not going to realize last year there was no Beis Hamikdash. Since there was no Beis Hamikdash, that's what you ate based upon the day. But now there's a Beis Hamikdash. You have to the only thing I'm at is the omer, and therefore you have the omer. You have the ability to bring the omer. And therefore, he made a takon, you can't eat the whole day. Okay. I know lately I've been in Chassidish Verta. I saw a great word from the Imre Yemes. Imre Yemes was the Ger Rebbe. He was the father of the Beis Yisrael. He was the father of Pnei Menachem. And the brother Bnei Menachem. He was Yemis was Mordechai Megur. He was from the earlier. During the war, he was the Rebbe, escaped Eretz Yisrael. So he says, why did Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai two takanas? What do they have in common? Lulav and Oimer. So he says lulav. So what did we do? He made a takana zeich lemigdash. 7 days is a zeich to migdash. Think about it. Here are all the Jews. They're remembering the only time they did it was when the Beis Hamikdash was standing. Now all I have is a zeicher. They must be so tzibrachin. All I have is a zeicher. What's his next takana? The reason why you can't go ahead and eat the oimer, why? Because maybe next year they're going to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash. So in other words, that gave him a little emphasis, a geschmack. Make it takana because next year you're going to rebuild it. So therefore, memeli you can't eat the whole day. So that's a very, very geschmacka appeasement to the previous takana, the takana of the zeicher, which make them tzibrachin, the takana of the oimer, which go ahead and bring them happiness. Right? It's a geschmacka pshat. Geschmacka chassidish shavar. I don't know what's happening to me. We never said these years ago, right? Okay, anyway. So it says the Gemara. The last din of the Mishnah, Yoim Hanaf Kuli Yasa. The day, Yoim Hanaf, the day of the Omer should be totally Yasa. How do you know you make a zeichel in Mikdash? The lulav, you made a zeichel in Mikdash, how do you know that? The pasuk says, I'll give you what? I'll give you a cure. And from your wounds, I will go ahead and I will cure you. No Hashem, says Hashem, because they call you Nidacha. Tzion he dairish and Einla. Tzion, Yerushalayim he seeks, ve'Einla. Mechal the boy Drisham, it says that Tzion he dairish, it's dairish Yerushalayim, and so you see there's a mitzvah to be dairish Yerushalayim and seek it, so definitely make it Zeichel in Mikdash. So my timer, what's the reason? Well, you know the reason, I just told it to you. Meheru Yibana Beis HaMikdash, the Beis HaMikdash Beis Hashem will be rebuilt. V'yomru, and they'll say, Ishtaked last year, Milo Yachalnu, Beher Mizrach. Last year, did we not eat Beher Mizrach when the Mizrach came up? Achshav Nami Nechel. Now also let us go ahead and eat, right? And like we did last year. And they won't know the Ishtaked last year, Lahaya Oimer Heyer, Lahaya Oimer. Since last year it wasn't an Oimer because there was no Beis HaMikdash, Heyer Mizrach hit it. It's the Heyer Mizrach that matters. Hashta the Ika Oimer matter. Okay, so therefore, in order to avoid that problem, he said the whole day is asa after the destruction. Now, to Mivnei Emas, when exactly is the Beis HaMikdash being rebuilt? If you're going to tell me it's rebuilt on the 16th, Hari Heyer Mizrach, right? Hitter. So they already had the heter. Before the Beis HaMikdash was rebuilt, it was the 16th day. And once the 16th day came, they're able to eat. So there was nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. They already got the heter. It was rebuilt on the 16th, but before the rebuilding, they had a heter to eat. Ella, it must be what? The Ibni B'chamisa. It must have been built on the 15th. Now, if it was rebuilt on the 15th, why did he have to asr the whole 16th day? Just asr until Chatzos. The Hatanam we learned in the Mishnah in Erevin. Harachaykim, those who are far away from the Beis HaMikdash, mutarim mechatzos hayom lahalan. They could eat the chadash from half day and onwards. The fishein bezdin misatzlam by the bezdin of the kahanim would not be lazy. In other words, if the Beis HaMikdash is standing, at which point in time can you assume that the oimer was brought and guarantee that it matters the winter wheat, the chadash? Chatzos. That's what it says, chatzos. So now what are you telling me? Let's go through the two possibilities. First, the takana. The whole 16th day is asa. Why? Because you're going to worry they're going to eat the chadash. Now, Fred, what are you worried about? If it was rebuilt on the 16th, they're permitted to eat the chadash. After all, it's the 16th day. It wasn't built yet. So therefore, it was mutter at this time, and then you rebuilt the bias. And if it's rebuilt on the 15th day, the day before the 16th, it's unnecessary to wait the whole day. It should be no different than any other year, which from Chatzos and on, they were able to eat the chadash. So why did he ask for the whole day? Miman of Shach. That's the Mar's Kasha. And for the Gemara, the You know what happened? They rebuilt it the 15th day at night. If that's the case, they wouldn't have time to process the oimer. We went through it. The oimer is a very big process. They have to cut it, sift it, put it through. I don't know how many sifters. I don't remember. They did a tremendous avodah. So pshat is they wouldn't have time before Chatzos to bring it. So Einachanami was built early on the 15th. You're right, but if it's rebuilt on the 15th before Shkias Achama, you can't rebuild it at night. It has to be Shkias Achama. So therefore, the reason why the whole 16th was also because you wouldn't be able to matter it by Chatzos because you wouldn't have time to bring it. Inami Ibn Balayla was rebuilt at night. So since it was rebuilt at night and you didn't have time to bring it, the same teretz, you didn't have time to process it. Therefore, he asked it the whole 6th day. Now the question is the following: you're not allowed to build the base of Mikdash at night. Okay, let's see Rashi over here. Rashi in the Vim Taimar, 2 lines in the bottom. Vim Taimar. How is it possible to be built on the 15th day? Now the 16th day, guys, is Chol Hamoed. The 15th day is Pesach. How can you build it on Pesach? With Ivni Balaylo, how can you build it at night? Of a Kaimalon, Masechta Shvuos, the Ein Binyan Beis HaMikdash, Loi B'Yontif, Loi Balaylo. Binyan Beis HaMikdash is not Doicha nighttime, and it's not Doicha Yontif. So what kind of teretz is the Gemara giving? That the 15th day before Shkia, that's Yontif. At night, you can't build it at night. So how is the Mitzvah possible? And for Rashi, Hani Mili Binyan B'Deodim. That sentence is built by people. We said the next one's going to come down from a ish. It's going to come down from Shemayim. So therefore, not a problem. Okay. Amar Rab Nachman Yitzchak, Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai Amid Beis. You know, I'm going to get another guy. I'm having trouble seeing here. Now, the assumption, guys, of the Gemara was that Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai, based upon his takana, held that the 16th day matters it, right? That the 16th day matters it. That's what he held. That the 16th day could go ahead and matter the oimer. Now the pasuk says, "V'lechem v'koli v'karmel le'soichlu at etzem hayom hazeh ari aviachem es korban elokechem." At etzem hayom hazeh, what does etzem hayom mean? Does it mean up until or including the 16th day? Obviously, Rabbi Yochanan held up until the 16th day, and then the 16th day you would be able to eat. So it says the Gemara that Rabbi Yochanan says Rabbi Nachman by Yitzchak, Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai b'shitas Rabbi Yehuda Amra. In the shita of Rabbi Yehuda, he said his din. The Amar, he was of the opinion that at etzem hayom hazeh at atzmai shel yoim. Now this Rabbi Yehuda is Rabbi Yehuda the Amoira. So Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai the Tana could not possibly be saying in the same Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Yehuda. It means Rabbi Yehuda is going in his shita. Says Rashi, B'shitas Rabbi Yehuda Amra, the Amra min HaTorah asa kol hayom, that it's asa the whole day, b'zman hazeh, the kasava ad v'ad bechlal, that he says up until and including. In other words, when is it muta? That's b'shas when you have bring the oimer. If you don't bring the oimer, then it's going to be asa what the whole day. The Amar etzem hayom hazeh ad atzmai shel yoim, ukasava ad up until the ad bechlal and including. Now 1 second. You told me that he owes me the rice. I thought it was takana. After the destruction of bias, Hiskin, Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai made the following takana. What was the takana? Takana was that the whole day is asa. Mashma without the takana, the day would be muta. So how can Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak say he holds like Rabbi Yehuda, who says that while it's asa deraisa, Halachari said it's only a takana. V'hamiflik polagala that nan v'shachar beis hamikdash Hiskin Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai shei yom anav kula asa. Meaning his skin, it's takana. It's not a din daraisa that the 16th day is asa. So Rabbi Yehuda, v'limina toiruhu asa. Yichsiv ad etzem hayom hazeh. Says Machasam Rabbi Yehuda the Katoy. Rabbi Yehuda made a mistake. He was saw Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai midrabanan kamar. He thought Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai made a takana, but he really held it was asa daraisa. Below him, daraisa kamar. Now the question is, if he held that the 16th day is asa daraisa, what's the lashon of takana? It says the Gemara, v'ha hiskin katani. It says he metakin. It says Gemara hiskin. Dorish for Hiskin. He darshan ad etzem hayom hazeh, the hiskin ad etzem hayom hazeh midaraisa. But in Achinami, bisman abayis, it's muta only after that oimer. But he held if you didn't bring the oimer, it would be also the whole day. Another that we had in Masechta Sukkah. The following Mishnah we had in Masechta Beitza. Okay, this was the sugya of Rosh Hashanah, guys. Let's speak out. Let's speak out the Indian a little bit, and then Be'ez Hashem we'll get an understanding. Let me just get something. Okay, we know enough about the Masechta that we Mekadesh the Levana either on the 30th or the 31st. Machloikis, whether if the 31st is Memelo or not, we had a 4-way Machloikis. But the bottom line is, you're misupik whether the 30th day is Aleph Tishrei and it's Rosh Hashanah, or the 31st day is Aleph Tishrei and it's Rosh Hashanah. You have to keep the 30th day B'Kedusha. You have to start the day B'Kedusha. If Eidim would come and say they saw the Levana, you'd keep one day Rosh Hashanah. If Eidim didn't come, you would finish the day. You would finish the day B'Kedusha once you began, and you keep the second day. This is bemis why we have Rosh Hashanah being Yom HaRichta even in Eretz Yisrael. So it's right the 2-day Yontif. If Eidim didn't come in the morning, you started the day of B'Kedusha. You said by the Korban Tamid Shal Shachris, you said the Shira of Chayil. You always said the Shira of Chayil, so that's not a problem. In other words, it was a Sunday, you said Sunday. It was Monday, you said Monday. Tuesday, you said Tuesday. Wednesday, you said Wednesday. Thursday, we'll see. But you said everything. In the afternoon, you had a different Shira, you would say. What happened once was that they said the Shir is Machloikis, that they said the Shir of Chayil, and then the Eidim came and it retroactively was Rosh Hashanah, or they didn't say a Shira at all. It's Machloikis what they did, and they were Makalkel B'Shir. So Hiskin, Rabbi Yochanan, and Zakkai, from Mincha Ulamayla, when they had to bring the Korban Tamid Shel Bein Abayim, they wouldn't accept Eidim at all. And they automatically would say the Shir of Chayil. They automatically say the Shir of Chayil, because they're not keeping Eidim at all. That didn't mean you'd go ahead and you would keep it as Yantif. But he made it takana, you would not accept Eidim at all. Okay, that was his takana. Initially, they were makabel the whole day. The Eidim were delayed in coming. And the Leviim, when it came to the Korban Tamid Shel Bein Abayim, they were miskalkel b'shir. And again, we'll have the machloikus in the Gemara. What does that mean? Hiskinu, Yochanan and Zakkai made the following takana. You'd only be makabel Eidim at mincha, and if they didn't come and they showed up afterwards, it doesn't make a difference. We'd say the shir of chayil and make lamed aleph reish chodesh. They were noyig that day kodesh lamed ulamachar and lamed aleph kodesh. V'shachar beis hamikdash shichshin Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai sheyem makabel made us a chodesh kol hayom. You mekadesh eidim chodesh all day because no nafkamina, but nonetheless you would keep the day of Yontif. They makabel the whole day. Okay, so that's the sugya. Now, when it says Makalka, what does Makalka mean? The Levium blew it. What do they blow? What happened? It says, my Kilkul. Kilkul al Levium, Bashir. Hacha, here in Bavel, they made the following. Shaloi Amru Shira Kol Ika. In Bavel, they said they didn't say the Shira at all. In other words, in Bavel, Gacham hell guys, when you're Mesupik, whether it's Choyel or Kodesh, you don't say anything. When you're Mesupik, whether it's Choyel or Kodesh, you don't say anything. Rabbi Zera Amar, Sha'amru Shira Shel Choyel, they said the Shir of Chayil, despite the fact when Eidim came, you saw retroactively it was Rosh Hashanah, and they should have said, the special Shira of Rosh Hashanah. In the morning, they said the same one anyway, so it's not a problem, guys, right? You hear the kasha. It's not a problem in the morning. If they come in the afternoon, retroactively, it's going to be Rosh Hashanah in the morning. They said the same thing, Rosh Hashanah, to make a difference. You always said, by the Tamid Shel Chayil, they said Tamid Shel Chayil, to make a difference. The difference was, on the afternoon. So Amrullah, they said, so we have two opinions now. You have one opinion, what is that the opinion of Bavel, they didn't say it at all, and the opinion of Zera, that they said the shir of Chayil, but they did say shir. In other words, if you don't know what to say, which one do you say? Says Rebbe, the Chachamim of Bavel, you don't say anything. Said Reb Zera, to kilkul the share, you do say if you're mesupik, you say the share of chayil. That's what they did. They were mesupik. They knew when they brought the carbon and they were doing the nisach and they had to say shira. The Levium knew that the possibility existed. But what did they say? They said the share of chayil. So in other words, when you're in doubt, you say the share of chayil. That's the machlokes between the Chacham man of Bavel and Reb Zera. So Amar Reb Zera la'ava braid. Second time we had him. Said Reb Zera to Ava his son, Poik tani lahu. Go teach him the following. They say you don't say it at all. I'll bring a brisa that says you do say it. That you do say the share of chayil when you're in doubt. What's the brisa say? His skinu, again, this is an elaboration on the Mishnah. Again, the brisa is always more elaborative than the Mishnah. His skinu shlayim mekabel made this a chaydish. Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai made a gezerah. They will not be mekabel made this a chaydish. Ela kedei sheyei shoyis biyoyim, that they have enough time during the day. Lahakriv tamidim umusafim b'niskayim v'loyma shira shaloi b'shibish, and to say a shira without messing up. Now, Iyame Bishleima Oma Shira the Chayil. Bishleim, you're going to tell me that you said Shira the Chayil. Hainu Dika Shibush. That's possible. Mishabesh to corrupt. El Iyame Loya Maklal. My Shibasika. If you're going to tell me you don't say it all, where are you messing up? Mash, the lashon of Shibush, guys, is mashma. You should have said one thing and you said another thing. You should have said Rosh Hashanah and you said Chayil. But if you don't say anything at all, L'chayra, why did you mess up? L'chayra, it's a kasha on the Chachmei Bavel. Says the Gemara, no, Kivin Loyam Klal, since you didn't say any shira at all, Ein Lecha Shibush Gadol Mizeh, there's no bigger shibush than that. Ein Lecha Shibush Gadol Mizeh, there's no bigger shibush than that. Good? Okay, now. Masiv Rav Acha Bar Huna. Said Masiv Rav Acha Bar Huna, Tamid Shel Rosh Hashanah, Shachris, Kirvu Kil Chasai. In other words, you bring it by saying, and you say the share of the chayil, like we said. The musif, mahu oimer, why would they say by musif? They said, harninu lelokeinu uzenu, horiu lelokei Yaakov. So you can understand the lashon of horiu lelokei Yaakov, it's Rosh Hashanah. So you're saying the horiu, the shaifa, lelokei Yaakov to the God of Yaakov. The mincha mahu oimer, why do they say by mincha on Rosh Hashanah? Kol Hashem yachol midbar. The kol of Hashem Yachal in the midbar. So this is what? Again, it's speaking about Rashi says it's speaking about the blast of the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. So therefore, ubizman shechal Rosh Hashanah leliyas b'chamishi b'Shabbos. Now, guys, hariu, this is what we say, right? We say harninu lelokenu uzenu hariu lelokei Yaakov. We say this every Thursday. That's the share of Thursday's shira. So now, if you say that in the morning, when Rosh Hashanah falls on Friday, on Thursday, right? So that's what we say in the morning. That's what we say in the morning. Then by Shachris you would change. Usually say Haninu by Shachris, but if Rosh Hashanah in the afternoon you're going to say Haninu by Musaf, we're going to say something else by Shachris, not to go ahead and repeat. And we're going to see in a second what do you say. What would they say? I removed his shoulder from his burden. That's speaking about the I think David HaMelech. Shvishim the Rosh Hashanah Yosef Beis Hashem. Yosef came out of Beis Hashem. So normally, what would you say in the morning? Haninu. But on Rosh Hashanah, since you're going to say by Musaf, you're going to say Haninu. In the morning, you would say Hasiroisi. Good. The imbo edim acher tamid shel shacher. They would go ahead and say Haninu. Even though they're repeating, they would say it again. Now, if you don't, we're in doubt. Now, guys, in the morning, are you in doubt whether the Edom are going to come? So, in other words, if the Edom come, you're supposed to say Hasiroisi. If they don't come, you're supposed to say Haninu. We're saying Haninu. Good. Well, that's Rabbi Zera's shita. But if you don't say anything in the morning at all, what do you worry about doubling up? There's nothing to double up. You're not saying anything. Again, are you saying machlokes between Rabbi Zera and the Chachmei Bavel? When you're in doubt, don't say anything, says Chachmei Bavel. Says Rabbi Zera, when you're in doubt, say Chayil. What do you say every Thursday? Haninu. You say Haninu. You say Chayil. That's what you say every Thursday. What do you say in the morning on Rosh Hashanah? If you knew for sure it's Rosh Hashanah, You'd say Hasiroisi. What are we doing? We say Haninu. Eidim are coming in the afternoon. When you said Haninu in the morning, you didn't know Eidim are coming. So how can you say Haninu? Ella must be when you're in doubt, you say Chayil. Kash on the Chacham will say when you're in doubt, you don't say anything. It's a little different because that's speaking about the afternoon, this is speaking about the morning, but the side's the same. It's a suffix in the morning, it's a suffix in the afternoon. So it says the Gemara, so Hainu the Kami so it says that now it says right? Hainu the Kami that's why you're worried about doubling it up in Musaf, because you said it in the morning. If you can say you don't say it at all, why are you worrying about doubling up? You didn't say anything in the morning. My Omru B'Kaifla, what do you mean that you're worried about doubling up? In the morning, you didn't say anything. Ella must be you did say something. Kasha on the Chachamim. As a hush goes over the crowd, I don't feel anyone knows what's going on here. No one knows what's going on, right? Yehuda, you don't know what's going on. You do know what's going on? Okay, one more time. Let's go through it. Let's go through it. We see that Rabbi Yochanan and Zakkai made a takana. What happened? That Adam showed up after they bought the carbon shel ben abayim. They had already said maybe they said something, or they didn't say anything. Nimsa, when they accepted Adam retroactively, it was Rosh Hashanah. So they should have said in the afternoon, they should have said the Shira of Rosh Hashanah. They should have said Haninu. They should have said something. And they didn't. So Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai said the following: to avoid that, you know what we're going to do? We're going to say this. We're going to say the Shira of Choil. And if they come in the afternoon, we're not going to accept their Eidus, and automatically Rosh Hashanah is going to be on Lamed Aleph. That's what he said. Now, what was the mess up by Mincha? On that, we have machlokes between Bavel and Reb Zera. Bavel said they didn't say anything. Why? Because they didn't know what to say. Maybe the Eidim would come, maybe the Eidim wouldn't come. So they didn't know what to say. They didn't say anything. Reb Zera said, no, when you don't know what to say, you say the Shir of Choil. That's what it says. Good. We're now bringing in a brisa, and from this brisa, we're going to ask on the people in Bavel. In the morning of Rosh Hashanah, on the fifth day, you usually say Harninu, and if you know it's Rosh Hashanah, you say Hasiroisi, and then by Musaf you say Harninu. Why do you say Hasiroisi in the morning? So it's not to double up the same share. That's why I'm saying Hasiroisi in the morning and Harninu in the afternoon. Good. Eidim didn't come yet. So what am I saying in the morning? I'm saying Pashit. It must be saying Haninu. Even though I'm a supik in the morning, whether Eidim are going to come or not. If they come, I have to say Asiroisi. If they don't come, I say Haninu, which is the normal Thursday. Good. Like you, the people of Bavel who say when you're in doubt, you don't say anything. Why are they saying Haninu in the morning? They shouldn't say anything. That's the kasha. And for the Gemara, you know what the answer is? Since Thursday, you always say Haninu. Amoida. When do I say you don't say anything? Is that when you don't know what to say? But since Friday, you always say Haninu, even if it's a regular Thursday, you say Haninu, it's not a problem. That's the Gemara's teretz. Let's just see the lashon inside. Get back to I'm 3 lines in the bottom. Anytime you're in doubt whether to say kodesh or chol, you say chol. Amit shir with the chol. Hainu de kamri amru v'kaiflei. That's they were kaifel harninu with the musaf in the afternoon. If you're going to tell me you don't say anything at all in the morning, my v'kaiflei. You didn't run kaifel anything in the afternoon. You didn't say anything in the morning. Gemara shiny hasam the shir the yomihu. You know why? You can really normally you wouldn't say anything, but since it's Thursday and since on Rosh Hashanah you usually say Haninu on a Thursday the Chayil you say Haninu. So right now in the morning it's Chayil. I'm saying Haninu, and that's why. But normally you wouldn't say anything. Okay, thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yeshika. I feel better.
Feel better.
From the computer.